Good evening. Welcome to the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar is always open and the spirits are always served. Tonight's guest is Bethany Noble, owner of the Guided Key in Jefferson City, Missouri, and my sister in, I don't know, everything. Everything. We're going to talk about QHHT.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of it, you need to get on the bandwagon. We both do it. Bethany's doing a study. I'm still working at my free 25. What QHHT is, and welcome.
Yes. If you don't know what QHHT is, that's quantum healing hypnosis technique. It is so profound. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Julie, for having me. I always love being here. It's always something to experience, and we always have a great time.
We do. Bethany got me into this. She was doing this long before me, and I think I was her first client.
Yes, and you were. You got the first experience, and
it was amazing. Amazing.
No, thank you. And we've done several sessions since then, and tracked your progress. We just did the fourth one. And I won't speak about what you've experienced, other than to say on my side, the experience has been truly profound and life-changing. And I, as a practitioner, experience changes every time that I do a session.
I do as well. And profound is not even, I don't think profound even comes close. Like mind-blowing, energetic things happen every time that we just don't expect to happen.
Yeah.
Or maybe we are conscious of the fact that it could happen, and there's just no expectations, because what happens, and it just walks in and it happens.
It does.
It's like every single time you and I have had a session, whether it be your session or my session, it has gotten real. I mean, it has gotten real. It's
on all different levels, right? Yes. On all these different levels. And you can tell how the subconscious is entertaining us by giving us these different experiences and giving us a gradual increase of consciousness.
Oh my God.
Right? And opening us up in our level of awareness and allowing us to take more and more on as we go a little deeper.
And that's important for the people who are frightened or insecure or anxious or just unknowing, because we sometimes as humans, we assign fear to things first. Oh my gosh, This is unknown. I'm going to get really uptight about this. It starts at the level you need to hear it at. It never goes deeper than what you can't handle, and it's not going to go deeper than what you're ready to hear. So most of us start out with some lightweight questions and maybe some deep hitters too. But as we go, if you listen to your tape, listening to the session is important. You have to go back and listen, and because you think you remember it all, but then you really don't. And then over time, your mind kind of misconstrues what you heard, or you rewrite the story. So it's important to keep going back. And I go back and I listen to one many times. I've listened to two. I listened to three, but then I listened to 1, 2, and 3, and then I hit 4, right? So my goal this weekend is to listen to 4 a couple times, and then I'm going to go back and listen to 1 through 4, because it's kind of like going back and reading a journal over a year. You go back and you see the progress that you've made, and not only the level of questions and the depth that you try to reach by your questions get deeper and deeper if you're following through with what you're learning, but also you see how far you've come from the very first session without really even realizing sometimes, man, that area I really did make a huge jump in, Sometimes it seems like I changed a little bit, like I've grown. Yeah, I've become more spiritual. I'm more enlightened. I've progressed and moved on. But you don't realize until you go back to that first session, whoa, that's where I was at. I can't even fathom being concerned about the light and the dark now. Like I can't even, and I talk a lot about this on my podcast, but that's like so far back. Seems
Right.
a lifetime away.
Yeah, it does. It truly does. And because you've been given such deeper clarity, such deeper insight, such deeper meaning to things, you're able to just move past things that hung you up before.
Yeah.
And it's because you just have a different perspective on things. And with that comes a level of acceptance. And it's not a matter of being hypnotized and someone telling you you're going to believe this now instead, because that's definitely and absolutely not the case.
No.
It's a matter of you working with yourself, you working with your higher self, and making a decision.
Let me jump in and say that it's not like if Bethany's doing my session, it's not Bethany doing all the talking. She's not channeling. No. It is actually me. If it's my session, I'm doing the speaking from myself, but the subconscious is speaking. My higher self is speaking through me. So it's not somebody putting a thought in your head at all. It's actually you doing the speaking.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to infuse your brain with anything. They're not going to put anything in you. They're not going to sway you to believe that something is there when it's not. It is you doing the talking, and you're in control of the session.
Total control of the session.
So
and
that's the amazing thing.
It is. It really is. And, I love when people come out of the session and they have, what you said is absolutely true. People will come out and they'll think, oh, I remember what happened. Thanks for your time. I'm going to be able to go about my day, go about my way. And I am so encouraging of everybody to listen to that recording at least one time, and then also more, because at least that one time you get the full message, that first full download of what your subconscious is really trying to deliver you.
Yes.
The first time you see it, you're taking it in. And for many people, they're really fighting themselves to really accept what's happening. And it's, a battle of the conscious mind and that subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And there's a control being held onto. So, as practitioners, it's our job to help with that process. And we do help you to really stabilize and come away from that with a much more peaceful experience, so that you have that subconscious coming over and, being more triumphant. But really, I think people overwhelmingly come out of that. And when that subconscious comes forward, they're able to just say, I accept that this is what has happened. I am moving into this new experience. I am capable of new things. There's just a peace that comes over most people, and it's a self-awareness that comes. It's nothing that is driven by anything except for an internal awareness and an internal seeking that comes from the higher self. And it's nothing that, you or I can do for someone other than to truly facilitate the session.
And that's what we do. It's facilitation. That's all it is. We're just asking the questions that you have given us to find the answers. And it's amazing too, because you're aware that you're speaking, and you're aware that you're saying things. And I know for myself, and it happens every session, every damn session we've done. It's been like something lengthy will come out, and my search for words, I've got enough brain fog and brain injuries there that, sometimes my search for words hangs up, and I'll articulate something and it'll be really deep, and it'll come out for minutes. And then I'm like, whoa, that was brilliant. Where did that come from? It's like, that came out of my mouth. What?
Yes, I know. And I see people do that all the time, right? Or, I have this question that I love to pose about, just an offering or a question, if anybody has anything to offer to the collective, right? The collective energy that we have. And sometimes the subconscious does have a message for the collective, and it can rattle on and on and on sometimes. And it's very creative and very specific about what it wants mankind to know, or what it wants humanity to know, or what it wants Earth to look like, be like, operate like, what it wants humanity to participate in, what it expects people to do vibrationally. There's just very interesting feedback that comes, and it comes in those waves where it just kind of rattles on and on and on and on and on. And then people will come up and they'll say, where did that come from?
It didn't come out of my mouth. Well, it did. You heard it on the tape. It came out of your mouth.
You came up with that, not me.
And the healing that takes place too.
But by the way, I agree.
There's no ventriloquism here. That came out of your mouth. That's not my voice. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, you're good. I'm just saying the amount of healing too that takes place, the energetic healing the warmth and the overall mind, body, and spirit healing that comes through during a session is amazing. And oftentimes people will adjust themselves. You'll see them kind of cracking and popping and moving and doing things as the session goes. And that's a release. So, it's a way to get rid of unwarranted or things that you've held onto and collected and put in your pocket backpack for, 60 years. It's time to unload that backpack or that pocket and get rid of it. And
sometimes even generationally or through past lives, we pull down pain and trauma in our body and store it and hold on to it.
Yes, we do.
We talk to the subconscious and make, decisions about whether or not it is beneficial to continue to hold on to that. And if it's not, we process it. And it is something that you learn to either continue to dispel and how to do that, or if it's something that you're purposely supposed to be holding on to, we figure out why. Why would something be in the body if it's painful or if it's making you sick? Why would you have that in the body? So we talk about that, and the subconscious gets really real with you and tells you when there's nonsense or BS or boundaries or relationships or habits, whatever the case may be, it offers it, and it will tell you what you need to be doing to fix what the culprit is. And
in a very sarcastic way a lot of the time.
Sometimes it
humorous,
can be.
sarcasm, exasperated.
It can be. Well, let me clarify. Yours is usually very sarcastic.
I've had a lot of people who have that moment of sarcasm, though, where so and so would like to know why or what they need to hear. We tell them all the time. They just don't want to listen. Well, and we don't as humans. There's so much, and this, it's excuse me. I have the same thing when I read, though, when I'm doing readings for people in my bone readings. How many times have I said, for real, and I'm going to sound like the subconscious here, you are like going, la, 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 la. If I ignore it long enough, it's going to go under the rug. And after a while, it's going to turn into a dust bunny and it's going to go away. They're going to keep telling you and they're going to keep telling you. And it may stress you out and you may hear that inner voice, but you're still going to go, nope, 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 nope. And it's time to take the blinders off and listen, because they can only come so many times in so many ways. And if you want to listen, they're going to be there. And if you choose not to listen, they're probably still going to be there, but you're going to be tuning them out for a really long time. Yeah. So quit tuning them out and listen and move on so that you don't have that jumble in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people are really accepting of that easily and conceptually. And, there's really a level of transparency to that veil.
Yes.
And then for other people, it's more of a cog, right? And it's a little bit more of a process to get there. And the wheels start click during the first session, and then maybe the next session, and then maybe after a while that veil really starts to lift. And it's not always maybe, a QHHT session that has to happen as follow-up. I've seen other energy sessions really benefit people, Reiki, sound bath. And I have one lady that started with QHHT, did Reiki, did sound bath, did another QHHT, is doing other Reiki sound bath sessions. She's mixing it up because she's going through a real kind of spiritual enlightenment experience. And so she's trying to do something that is also keeping up with the pace of her enlightenment.
Well, she's changing the vibration.
Exactly.
She's doing that, she's also elevating her vibration and cleaning
That's exactly
it while she moves up.
And that's, so, to that point, that's exactly what her subconscious has delivered her. And it's not delivering her more than she's capable of. And it's giving her the tools and putting things in place for her to be able to continue to regulate and to continue to keep her body safe so that she can continue to develop the things that she needs to.
And that's very healthy. That incorporation of all those different things is so super important.
Yes.
And for people who go, well, I can't afford to do that. I get that, but there's other ways to do it with yourself, even like through movement and stretching and dance and meditation. And it doesn't have to be a practitioner that you hire to bring you through that. I mean, we love it when you engage with us and we can do those things for you because it's wonderful on both sides. But at the same time, it doesn't have to stop with the QHHT session if money's limiting. Like, you can always do some of this work yourself.
Yeah,
and move on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So.
And, I also think about, when I think about the risk reward of something like this, because it isn't inexpensive, and it is a high investment, not just of money, but time. These are the most valuable resources for people. And I respect that so much. But at the same time, I want people to think about the fact that you are really changing your life when you do one of these sessions. And one of the things that I have been tracking is the progress that people make with these types of sessions. And resoundingly, that is one of the key pieces of feedback that I get, is that the sessions are life-changing. And it's I mean, to say that that's rewarding for me is an understatement. But whenever people say that for them that's rewarding, right?
Well, I mean, you're assisting someone, you're empowering someone to change their lives. And we're just the guides. Like I say, that's all we're doing is sitting there with you, holding space, asking your questions.
And then to be able to, hear and understand there are real experiences with people's health that have changed when they have listened to their subconscious and followed the direction of what they were advised to do. Their anxiety has shifted and their relationships have changed. Things have really changed in people's lives for the better. And the most interesting things have happened for them also when it comes to what one lady said, well, that wasn't really for the better. She said, my relationships didn't really change for the better. I said, well, tell me about that. And she said, well, I had to get rid of some relationships. And I said, yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we have to get rid of some things in our life to make room for new things. And then at the same time, we have to make boundaries in our life to take care of ourselves. And in her particular session, it was very important for her to make boundaries. So this was something that was very progressive for her, so there's just a lot of really interesting shifts that I've observed through some of this work. I think what people you know this, we go through the certification process through QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, and there's 3 levels that we can go through. And through the internship process, that's the very first level that we enter into, and through that we have to do 25 sessions to get through the internship. So I went through and did some analysis and follow-up on some of those sessions that I did about a year ago, and just reached out to some of those people. And I have about 52% of those follow-ups complete. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the feedback that I've gotten from those.
Absolutely. I think this is important because I think, number one, it encourages other people to want to try it. It's real experience that doesn't come from a book.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from somebody, that's got a session and is just kind of like obligated to kick a number. This is a discussion that, Bethany, you had with the customers, with your clients that you have seen and gone back and talked to them. These are real statements, real things that people have thought.
Yeah.
Which is, speaks volumes about the work.
And it takes courage for people to do these sessions, first of all, and vulnerability for people to do these sessions. And then for people to move forward with them and, actually listen to themselves is very bold, because sometimes people have a lot of revelations. And, I don't say that to sound intimidating, because it's not, because you don't get more than you can handle.
No. It's people are insecure. It's the ability to hear yourself and hear your voice means that you're opening your ears to yourself. And I think sometimes along the way, we get so caught up in everything we have to do we don't have to, everything we choose to do for other people, and we don't focus on ourselves, right? A lot of us are caretakers, we're caregivers. We empower people, but we forget about ourselves. We forget. So when you're sitting there listening to your recording, it's kind of a, holy shit moment. Like, wait a minute, not only did you spend the time in the session willing to listen to the higher conscious, the subconscious, talking and telling you what you need to hear. But then you're going back and taking time and actually listening to yourself, which is giving yourself permission and also giving yourself the care that you need to hear what something is trying to speak to you about.
Mm-hmm.
That did not come from me. That was just something that I'm just going to say for the record, that was too articulative in mine. That was like, I got some help over here. See, I got some help over here. That was just gonna say
accurate.
Yeah, always, isn't he? Always.
So
that was good.
Yeah, move around a little bit. Well, I love that so much. And I love this work so much. It's so fun. You know, it's so different than anything I've ever done. And I love that I have been able to incorporate other elements of the work that I have done into it, mm-hmm. and how it's all coming together.
And it does. That's the beauty of it. Like when you're doing the right thing and you're on the right track and you're working with the correct energy, everything we do comes together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like having that last piece or the last few pieces of a puzzle that just fits right into place. And you go, wow, that was it was so cool, like to be able to do that.
Yeah. And that's a key thing that I think people find too, whenever they come in, is the pieces of the puzzle. A lot of the missing pieces are floating around up here, and they're grasping at what are those pieces, or how do they fit in the puzzle. And they walk away with so many of those answers. Mm-hmm.
And they're guided. 9 times out of 10, well, maybe 8 times out of 10 for some people, I feel like you have the answers. The QHHT is just a validation of what you already know inside. Like, we have memories that are locked. We have things from past lives that are locked. We have so many things that, because of the way we're programmed and the environmental cues around us, and I'm going to go so far in my world as to brainwashing and everything else that occurs with media and everything that's out there electronically. Even socialization skills in schools now push that brainwashing. But you still know the answers. Like, the subconscious will always be honest. It's honest.
Oh, yeah.
It's raw.
The subconscious is, and I think the thing that people miss sometimes is that we fail to listen. And that's the very first thing that the subconscious will say, is you don't listen. Whenever we get down to the meat and potatoes of what the issues, when we get down to the meat and potatoes of what the issues are, we don't listen, we don't rest, we don't meditate, we don't move.
Too many devices.
Yes.
Too many devices. Too many distractions. Too much focus on other people and not ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is not selfish when we focus on ourselves. That is not being, it's not being selfish at all. How can you take care of or be the best for your neighbor or be the best for the world when you're not focusing on your own needs? Because then you become a martyr, or you're too exhausted, or you're too this, or you're too that. So by taking care of yourself, then when somebody does need something and you're able to do it, you're not like, oh my God, I got to do that. You're more willing to give because you're rested and taken care of.
Yeah, you're capable. You're more capable.
And I think even like, I want you to get to your statistics. I think even for me, like when we had that discussion earlier this morning before my coffee,
which I totally forgot about mine today, by the way. I realized
no, I needed mine. The way my day got off to a start, like, oh, I'm glad I had mine. I lost my train of thought there. Where was I going there? Oh, like when you start recognizing the higher needs of yourself and listening to who and what you are, or whatever your questions are, whatever you need to know about yourself, you're able to step up so much easier and so much better without thinking about it, because it's not oh my gosh, I am so exhausted and now this person is called and they need something and I really need to do this, but I don't want to do this because I'm exhausted. And you just are like, let me check my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that on my calendar. And it's not now I'm going to have to go do this. It's like yay, like, look, I get to this opportunity to do this. And you view everything so much clearer and non-defensively. Like, you don't have to be that martyr, or you don't have to feel guilt if the answer is no. The answer is no. If the answer is hell yeah, I'm going to be there, then it's a strong hell yeah, I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. There's not that wishy-washy, yeah, but there's not. And I have booked more things already since my session with you in complete comfort, taking me out of my comfort zone. I have a friend.
Decision making, it's a huge change a lot of times for people in the way they make decisions. And self-confidence. When you couple the two, the way you make your decisions, and then you have more confidence about you. Wow.
Or you don't overthink. It's not even it's not even the self-confidence. It's like, we all have, I'm going to say we all, just to make myself feel better, I'm going to include everybody. We all have, I'd like to think everybody's got the same things I got. We all have triggers, right? There's things that set us off, whether it be trauma triggers or, whatever. And I have been, since that last session, able to, some of it haven't, but I have noticed that there's already been a change in some of the ways I'm able to see things and just go right past some of those triggers.
Awesome.
Which to me is like a big thing. Next session, we're going to work on things like food triggers and things like PTSD type stuff. Mm-hmm. But the ability to sit in a hospital room all day with somebody is hard for me, because I worked as a nurse during COVID, and there's just a lot of things that get triggered with me. And stepping up now, I'm going to go sit with a friend who's going to have surgery. And it's just like, I'm excited about it. Like, I'm actually excited to go sit with her and have that opportunity to do that. And didn't even think about it, which for me is huge, to not have to program and process and kind of like do the swiping on your phone. Like, oh, this is going to be there. Well, maybe I can put a nose ring in and I can get past the smell of the hospital, and I'm going to do this, and I have to actually think through. And there was no thought. It was just like, hell yeah, I'll be there. Like, we're going to do this. I got this great book. I got some study stuff. Rock on.
That's amazing. I love that.
Which is huge for me. That's huge to go back and study that, because for me, that's like it's really traumatic, but no.
I know.
So.
No, that was so major. And I love that. So I love that you're being able to test it too right away.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even think about
it. Not for her, but for you.
Yeah. And it helps her out too, which is like, that's a bonus, right? It's like a bonus. It's a win for her. And, hopefully she'll feel good enough. Like, we can talk afterwards and do some stuff and maybe have a little bit of fun too. But if not, that's cool too. But yeah. And things happened today with me, with family members, and I actually reached out and asked for help, which I don't do. Like, I never ask for help, because help is scary to me, because help means the knife's going to go in your back and somebody's going to do something. And the ability to just step up and go, well, you know what? I can work anybody that stabs me. So, like, we're just going to go for it, right? Sounds terrible. But in my position, I think of things like that, but I didn't even think about that. I'm just like, I'm going to do this.
But honestly, that's basically what you have been told, right? Is just release and
it'll be
whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen anyway.
Right.
Right.
Right. And in the SC's got us. The subconscious has us. They want what's best for us. They never want the bad things for us. They want all good.
Yeah. Always.
So
Always.
put you in a position. You might put yourself in a position, but they're not going to put you in a position where bad things are going to happen.
No. No, your higher self always wants the highest good for you.
Yeah. So what did you find?
If anybody's confused about why we say higher self and subconscious, they are the same. Your subconscious is your higher self.
Right.
And this is what we work with in the QHHT session to help you understand the limiting factors or barriers or whatever it is that you are coming in for. And what we do, and we probably should have started with this, what we do is we take people back to their past lives, and the subconscious takes you to whatever past life experiences in whatever past lives you need to see, and relates it to whatever the experience in this lifetime is that you need to heal and that you need to focus on.
Yes.
And it is a very interesting and profound experience. And sometimes people come in with the mindset that they're going to work on one thing, and then they leave with the understanding that they're going to really work on some others.
Well, we don't know. Again, we're not always in control. Even when we're in control, we're not always in control.
But that's the other part of it, because you are ready to heal what you're actually ready to heal when you're ready to heal it. And then consciously, we often hold on to things out of fear, out of doubt, out of guilt, out of shame, out of logic, these things that the conscious mind rationalizes and says, nope, I know this feeling. I know that this is the way that things have always been. And because this is the way it's always been, this is predictable, and I'm just going to sit with this. And, if you can allow yourself to really move past what that unpredictable feeling might be, you can accept so much more. You can accept possibility, and you can accept opportunity, because that's really what lies on the other side of unpredictable, or the things that are unknown.
Well, we want to seek comfort in things we know. So even if what we know is abusive or harsh or destroying ourselves, we still know what's going on. Like if you're stuck in a relationship with someone who's abusive, and that's what you've known for years and years and years, the fear of the unknown is worse than taking sometimes what you're taking in that moment, because what if you go worse? What if it gets badder? What if it's,
it gets badder? More bad.
Things do get badder, right? Like I'm just saying, for real, sometimes your mind, well, I'll just stay here, because if I stay here, at least I'm not there, and there is scary, because if here is bad, there could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
And when you learn to work through that irrational fear, because it is really an irrational, we're taught a lot of times, we're brainwashed into staying with situations, whether it be nobody in the family's ever been divorced before, or, the church says that you should do this, or this is how it's done here. And things are,
or my family has always done it this way.
Yes.
Or my parents told me I need to do it like this.
Yeah. Or even I'm going to do this for the kids. Whoa. Mm-hmm. The kids don't need to be in that. So the higher conscious helps you, or the subconscious helps you see the error in the thinking, not by telling you you're wrong, but by telling you how to work through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to go bad.
It will literally give you the steps
It's not going to go, bad Julie, look how much time you've wasted. That's not at all what it does. It's like, well, if Julie were to listen to this and she was to think about it this way, then she could do this and this and this. And you hear yourself saying that, and then you realize what you're capable of really doing, which to me is the brilliancy of it. Is it's coming from yourself. You had that in you all along. But I think, we've talked about permissions before on the podcast, where people that have been taught we have to ask permission.
Yeah.
So if you have to ask permission, ask it from your own self. Don't
rely on someone else for your success. Don't rely on someone else for your self-worth, and don't rely on someone else for the way you feel about your value and the self-love you have for yourself. That's where all of that stuff comes from.
Exactly. So what you found?
And I think just to I think close that up, people often find so much more of all of those things whenever they have these sessions, because of one thing that they find. They'll find peace, and then they'll find all of this other stuff, or they'll find acceptance, and then they'll find all of this other stuff.
So did you notice, like, I had my session a couple days ago with Bethany, and like I blew up your phone the other night with TikToks, and it was all Dolores Cannon, right? Well, there was a few other things that were there too, but Dolores Cannon, and it was like the whole thing. And my phone was, so people who believe in the whole microphone theory, my phone was turned off during my session that I had with Bethany. And I turned it off with yours too, because it buzzes and it irritates people. Yeah. But everything came out on heaven and hell. There is no this, there is no that. And I'm like,
they picked everything up, didn't it?
Wait a minute. This is my phone that was not in the room and was turned off. And it was a whole discussion of things that we've had a discussion with in my QHHT sessions, like trying to battle the whole thinking thing, doing what it is that I do. How the hell did it know that I needed to hear all of that in that time? But look, it was the subconscious that was just finding that shit and running it through my thread so that I would have the validation that I needed, because now I was willing to hear it.
Yeah, totally. And I see that happen all the time with people that leave within 24 hours. They start seeing signs, they start hearing things, they start receiving things. Things just are popping off, and they're blowing my phone up. And I do not mind that. I love that, because it tells me that things have started to flow for them. And I love hearing about how it has all tied into their session, whether it's a spirit guide coming through or what it is.
It's the whole spider web, law of correspondence, and how this, if this, then that. But it's all interconnected in one big.
I like to call it the 4D spider web.
Yeah, it's huge.
Actually, I can't claim that, but a friend of mine came up with that. But I love the description of that. And how, I think that perfectly describes the way that we are all interconnected with each other, and how we are vibrationally connected with each other.
Well, and you think about the spider web, or even the string theory, how everything is connected and woven, and there's only one string, and it goes through every person and everything. And if it's all intertangled, kind of like spaghetti. You think of your bowl of spaghetti and you have one great big noodle. You pull on one end, it's going to do something someplace else. Like there's a cause and effect for everything we think and everything we say and everything we do.
Yep, for sure. For sure. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've been coming up with and how I have been impacted, and just kind of some, I think, basic things that have been coming up. I think this is important for people to hear, just because this is real. Like this is this isn't stuff that's coming out of GPT. I mean, I ran some of the analysis through ChatGPT just to collate the statistics and help me to do that, because I'm not that smart. But but I wanted to just pull together some real analysis and some real analytics and some real data around some of the people that I have been seeing, what they've been experiencing, and just try to help people to know that the stuff is real and that it is impacting people. So I did 25 cases that were internship cases last year, and as of right now, I've heard back from about half of them, just under half of them. I don't know why it says. Actually, I guess no. At this point, it's just over half of them. Sorry. And so, of those respondents, 100% of them say that they would recommend a QHHT experience to someone else. Yeah, I love that. 85% of them say that they would definitely recommend it. Definitely, like most definitely. And 85% continue receiving some sort of insight from their session, even to this day. And it's been a year later, and they're still 85% of people are still receiving some sort of clarity. Nearly 8 out of 10 reported some sort of lasting improvement when it came to anxiety, stress, or their relationships. So whether that meant that they had a decrease in anxiety or a change in the way that they were managing their lifestyle so that their anxiety was modified, or that they had a shift in relationships or boundaries so that they weren't impacted so much. They had some modifications in the way that they were approaching thought processes, perhaps. These all attributed to all of those factors. Nearly 7 out of 10 experienced some sort of lasting emotional healing, some sort of spiritual growth, some sort of improved decision making, some sort of overall better physical well-being. And, I would say that that's the case, right? I mean, the spiritual growth is, I would say, one of the resounding reasons that people come in for a session, because they're looking for their purpose and they're looking for meaning in, what it is that they're supposed to be doing in the next phase of life sometimes. And oftentimes that's because they are going through some sort of spiritual transition. And the growth that they see is tremendous. It's beautiful.
And guys, this is a day. So, Bethany, how old are you?
45.
I'm 64. One day of your life, a day of your life has that much profound change as a possibility. Think about that. To listen to something that comes from your inner self, your higher self, is a message to you to be able to make that profound of a change in your life for one day out of 45 and 64 years.
Yeah. And I never
balance that. There's not even, you can't.
Like, this is a statistic that I decided not to measure, but I did take it into account for a lot of people. The different modalities that they're doing, in addition to this one session that people did. I did have other people that chose to come back after my internship sessions and repeat more, just like Julie chose to do more. But the thing that I find interesting is that people who do more modalities than just QHHT sessions are very successful with the goals that they have. I find also very interesting that very many people that come in for a QHHT session who have been doing the same modality for a very long time have usually some very aggressive changes that they maybe have not seen progressive changes around in the work that they have been previously doing. So, I just always tell people you are more effective when you are doing more than one modality and you're trying to tackle something that is an issue in your life. I would just also say that you can take real issues on, and when you're ready to handle them, you take them on and you really process them in that moment, and you can move through them in a cycle in a way that many people take a long time to do in other ways. I can speak from very real experience in that, and I know many of my other clients can also.
I can say that as well. I can validate that, not only for myself, but the clients that I have worked with, because with you, like, I don't pay attention to dates. Dates are not important to me. I don't even know what day of the week it is half the time, for real. Like, I don't work for a living. I don't go to work every day. So, Tuesday becomes fucking Friday. And I'm just going to say, like, I'm always going to my family. Is today Friday?
I told you about my week last week. Yeah. I thought Thursday was Friday all day. Wednesday was
I'm always in my head. I do know whether it's morning or nighttime. I'm that with it. I can tell first of all, by looking outside. I'm not clock oriented. But, when I went to my last session with you, which was this last week, it was really interesting because you said, do you know that it's been a year? And I think about 4 times I hit those quarterly and
you didn't
even know that I had been going quarterly, but that's the need as things came up. You think about a quarterly transition, and in 1 year, I was like questioning this all the way to where I am now, which is a completely, at least I feel, which is really all that matters, right? Whether anybody else believes it or not, I feel like it's just such a huge jump from where I was. Now, in some ways, I think it would look like maybe I backslid and took these side roads, but I had to take those side jaunts and those side journeys to boost myself even further, because there were things that I had to examine and work through to open the doors and open my understanding of myself. And they were things that I feared to go on before because, the brainwashing and church experiences and things like that I was it had been so ingrained, and the guilt to feel the way I felt when I did it. I had to go on those excursions to be able to go, shit, now should I feel guilty about this, or should I just let it go? And of course the subconscious was just straight on
yeah. And it gradually dosed you with what you needed and gave you the path. And it definitely is not always the path of least resistance, but you learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn. And if you don't, then you get to repeat them until you do. And as long as you're listening and you are paying attention and you do take the course that you're supposed to be on, you arrive and get to the place in life that you're supposed to be at, and things are much simpler for you.
Oh my gosh. And I have to say, don't overthink this. Overthinking it's not a good thing. Overthinking anything is not a good thing. It stresses you out and it causes more tension, and then you're not allowed to just be in the present state that you're in. I have this thing that I tell people in the paranormal, and I use this at all my lectures when I go places and speak for paranormal. Sometimes things are just things. It's not always a subconscious. It's not always a higher conscious. Sometimes it's just a fucking life experience, right? And in the paranormal, just because it smells like shit don't mean it's the devil. Sometimes it's somebody didn't clean their litter box, right? For real. I can joke about that, but I've had clients that came in and it was like, seriously, like, I'm cleaning them and I'm going, oh, there's that sulfur smell. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, I'm searching and I'm not seeing the evidence, or I go into a place and I'm searching and I'm not seeing the evidence, seeing, feeling, interacting with the evidence that there's something bad there, but I'm smelling it. And then my cat will come out of the litter box. Sometimes it's just shit. Sometimes it's nothing more.
Yeah, sometimes there's just a dead rabbit in the shed.
Exactly. See? So after our session, I'm like, I'm getting on my bike, and it was a day, it was a day that was questionable. Like, I had just cleaned somebody. Don't get on your motorcycle right after you've cleaned somebody. Like, maybe you should really seriously clean yourself before you do that, especially when you've dropped one already. And I'm on there and I'm like trying to start the damn thing. And I'm trying to start the damn thing. I am not kidding you. I'm a seasoned rider. I know how to start a motorcycle. God damn, if I couldn't get that thing started. I'm on the 6th, 7th start. It's starting. And every time I go to shift to first gear, I'm killing it. And I'm like, this is a sign. This is definitely a sign, right? It's a sign I should not be riding today. And I get on my phone, I pull it off my mount, and I text my son and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to ride today because I can't get my bike started. Every time I hit first gear, my bike's dying. And he's like, he sends me back a text really quick and he goes, is your kickstand still down? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, it's not like your Harley. You forgot to take your kickstand down. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? I am giving it gas. And the bitch kept dying. And I'm like, oh, what is that? Did that happen before on my other bike? He goes, you've just forgotten that. He said, because you always kick the kickstand up. Why is your kickstand down? Because I'm kind of on a hill. And he goes, kick it off and just give it gas. You'll go. And I kicked it up and it just went. And I was like, oh. And he goes, oh, Kawasaki's do that now. It's a safety feature. So if your kickstand's down, it's going to die. It wasn't me. It was the kickstand. It was not a sign.
It was just that.
It was just the kickstand.
And like, we're always searching for something. We're always looking for something.
Yeah. So don't be so caught up in, I've got to have that sign. It's got to be here.
So what do you think the balance is between listening and seeing, and then not getting caught up, right? Because you don't want to be fooled, and you don't want to miss out, right? There's such a fine line there.
I think we're here on this planet because we chose to be here. I think the experiences we have on this planet are because most of the time, I'm going to say most of the time, we chose them, or we chose a path that took us into something that has happened to us. That being said, and I know trauma people are going to like argue and say, but I didn't put myself, that's not what I'm saying. Hear me out. I think that we have something we chose to experience. And I think if we're here to experience life, we need to experience life and quit looking at things as always good and bad. Because good and bad is not always relative. Right and wrong, I hate to say it, right and wrong is not always relative. There are balances that have to occur. And because something's right for one person does not mean it has to be right for the next, or good for one person. It does not mean it's going to be good for the next.
Yeah.
I think we get so hung up on, gosh, if I take that side road to the left, or I take that side street to the right, it's going to deter me for 15 minutes to a year, depending on how long the side road is. And that could be a bad thing, but it could also be a really big learning experience that's going to elevate you to something else. So I think fear keeps us from doing what we want to do. Mm-hmm. And I think guilt from the past and from traumas and from brainwashing keeps us from doing the things we want to do. And I think if you're not meant to do it, you're going to hear loud and clear in your head, don't fucking do it. Nuh-uh. Not this time. Don't do it. And if you're not hearing that, and you're open, then it's probably something from the past that's keeping you from doing something that maybe you need to go ahead and do.
Yeah. Yep.
That's that's the only way from my experience I can interpret that.
And I think the other thing too that I tap into is my body, right? Like, where is it hitting in my body?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I receiving it in my body? And depending on where it goes, then I know, is this real? Is this something I'm inventing? Is this something that is just a thing that is a thing?
Do you have that book? I can't stand up. Do you have that book?
Oh, yeah.
Right now. That book that we use. This isn't, oh no, not the Shakti book, the book, the ailments book.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
This is like the best book. If you're a metaphysical person or you have an understanding of the metaphysics, this is an amazing book. And I say metaphysical, it's great if you're not metaphysical, but you're probably going to question 3/4 of stuff in it and go, how is that connected? If you've got any metaphysical background at all, you're going to have an understanding of the connection of mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, if you get that book, you should be seeing one of us, because it can be a little bit of a mind fuck.
It is, because you're going, oh God, my knees and my feet are hurt. It was like I'm walking in the wrong direction. How many knee injuries have I had now? For real? How many? Like, I had a total knee and was down for 5 months.
Yeah.
I tore the shit up in my other knee when I wrecked my bike. Seriously? But now, like, the pain of my knee is completely gone.
Eerily accurate. It's so eerily accurate.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much, because it just helps people to just, have some conscious awareness of
That's
some.
all you have to do. You don't have to believe everything. I would never tell anybody believe anything that anybody tells you. Take in part of it. The truth is someplace in between. For anybody, it's in between, right? You question everything. Everything. It's okay.
I do.
And if you don't question, or if you question and somebody goes, you shouldn't be asking those questions, leave. Yep. Because either of us, you can ask any questions to, and if we don't know, we're going to go, that was a good one, man. I have no clue, but let's go.
Means, if I don't know, I'm very much the first one to, let's find out, or I'll write it down and I'll get back to you. Yeah. I don't pretend to know the answers to it.
Or refer. Neither one of us are afraid to refer people to people who do something different than what we do.
Yeah, and if you're a practitioner in the area and you're, specifically into something that's unique, and especially women-owned businesses, I am a very big proponent of working with women-owned businesses that are local businesses.
Yeah.
But small businesses in general, I partner with, and so if you're a practitioner and you're resonating with this type of work, feel free to reach out to me. And I love to have a list of local practitioners that I can get to know and understand what their services are like.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people in Jefferson City that do really dark work. Like, I will pull dark entities. I do house cleansings. I do, excuse me, that was really bad timing. You never know on a podcast. I will work to, like, I have no problem pulling out darker entities. That's what I do. So I have practitioners that refer their clients to me for things like that.
Yeah. So, I do, in my Reiki work, I do a lot more with people that have gone through a lot of trauma, a lot of a lot of trauma. I'm a trauma-informed mentor, so I just naturally get a lot of people with trauma background, whether that's marriage, domestic violence, PTSD, CPTSD, this kind of that kind of range, FA, that kind of range of things. And people come in looking for oftentimes a avenue for something that they haven't really been able to, and I think you see this too in your work, or something that they haven't been able to find a source that they could feel confident in, that they have gone to oftentimes other reputable sources,
Yes.
or sources that have been socially reputable. And when they get to us, they're exhausted
And more
or worn out.
And more trauma.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. That's okay. We just start where we're at and dive in, and get to work. So, yeah. And then, I love working with people with sound frequencies. I do sound bath healings, and that's another way that we incorporate healing at the guided key also. And it's a huge factor for people in their healing. I do group sessions once a month at a couple of different places here in town, and people will come just for those. That's a 1 hour out of your schedule a month to just check out, and all you do is lay down and you don't do anything else. Just like a Reiki session, you just lay down, and
it's easy.
It's so easy. And the sound waves do the rest, and people get up and they're just like, what just happened? I just am totally lighter. It's just a completely different experience. And so if you can try to give yourself some space, maybe to do something like an energy healing, once a month or every couple of months, that's so good for the body. So, whether you're doing Reiki or whether you're doing something like sound bath, or if you can do a QHHT once or twice a year, I love for people to try to do them, once a year. If I see them as a regular client and they're willing to do something like that at least once, I think they have just amazing success with it. I know the ones that I've been working with have, they show up with greater clarity, and these are the things that they're saying. They have greater clarity, they have more peace, they have less fear, they have better perspective, they trust themselves more.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Trusting yourself is huge.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're okay. Again, it's that permission, right? That I'm okay on the inside, and it's okay if I go ahead and I do this, I'm going to be fine. That it just accelerates the growth. It accelerates the leveling up, everything around you. It just makes it so much easier to open the doors that need to be open and close the doors that need to be closed, and know that you're capable of making a good decision in that time.
Yep. Yeah. Very, very rewarding for everyone involved.
Yes.
Everybody.
What else do you want people to know about you before we close tonight?
Well, I don't know. We've talked about a lot.
So we're both in Jefferson City.
Yeah, so I have my practice in Jefferson City. I have a wellness center that I see clients in. You can find me online, theguidedkey.com. You can find me on Facebook, The Guided Key, Instagram, The Guided Key, TikTok. the guided key. All my handles are the guided key. I love to see clients, for Reiki and sound baths and QHHT. And I do also transformational coaching with people that are, going through spiritual transformations and those shifts that come through that conscious awakening that happens oftentimes whenever there are traumatic experiences that people go through and that they are healing from. So yeah, if any of that resonates with you, just hit me up. I would love to talk with you about it. But yeah, I will just share this for anybody that's still listening. I love the way that I approach things in my work that I've been able to glean from my past life, my past experience in this lifetime, with my professional experience. Because I was explaining to you before we got on here that I am pulling in a big level of case management in the work that I do to track. That's how I have these analytics, and I'm tracking people's progress and the improved health that they have, or whatever's going on with them. And one of the things that I see is dramatic changes in people's health. And I won't go into specifics right now, but I do have a client whose care is so rapidly changing that I don't know what to do with her case, with the information. It's so interesting and so impressive for her to have the changes in her physical state that she is having. I'm talking markers that are changing, that are radical. And we see this stuff happen in these sessions. We do. We see this stuff happen. And Dolores Cannon has talked about this stuff happening. And other of her practitioners that have trained have talked about this stuff happening. But I have to tell you, to be experiencing it myself is just mind-blowing.
It is. When you come across those things and you think that's not possible, but mind controls matter.
Yes.
We've said, we've been taught all of our lives, mind over matter, and it really is mind over matter. It really is.
Yes, and that's key for everybody to understand. And that is what she understands the most, and is so aware of and accepting of.
It's very true. It's very true. And even in I do Reiki, I do a shamanic blend of Reiki. I am a qualified Reiki master. I'm very close in the Usui, and so are you, because you're in we're in the lineage together. To me, it's amazing, when you tie in all of that and the ability to connect to mind, body, and spirit, and tell a client, whether it's through the subconscious and the quantum healing or through our Reiki sessions, what? I had a client in yesterday, and I'm like, what the fuck did you do to your shoulder? It was 2 days ago. See, there's my timeline. I'm like, the minute he got on the table, I'm like, oh God, buddy, what did you do? And he's like, how did you know? And I'm like, well, I just am working on you, and I'm telling you, you're kind of got something wrong here. And I worked and I worked and I worked. And of course, I do some touching, as I think you sometimes touch joints or things like that. And I'm working, but I'm not a massage therapist, so I don't go deep with that. I work on energy. And I'm going, okay. And I could feel it giving a little bit. I'm like, oh, you need to go to either a chiropractor or a massage therapist, because you messed some stuff up here. What did you do? Well, lifted something out of a truck, and 2 weeks ago, and he's like, I pulled this, and it's been off ever since. And the whole alignment was off, and it was very intermuscular attached to bone issues that needed to be worked through. Wasn't energetic per se, which we did release some stuff.
But you can sense all of that.
You can sense all of that stuff. And you do that too with people. And to me, it's just so amazing that you're sitting there and the subconscious brings these things out. Yeah. And you're like, I knew it. Or the client goes, yeah, I'm right. Like, you're shifting from your left to your right when you breathe and the airflow isn't there. And how do you know that? Because I'm having troubles breathing right now and I'm like blocked in that area. And that's how I sense that you're having those issues too.
Yeah.
It's that medical intuitive or body intuitive ability.
Just kicks in.
It just kicks in and it shows you that we're all connected. This isn't witchery. It's not like I'm functioning that high as a witch. No, it's we're all collectively connected with that string. So if I'm next to you and I'm working on you and you're having issues, I'm going to sense that you're having those issues.
Well, and I will just point out, that to your point that we're all just collectively connected. For 25 years of my life, well, really for 42 years of my life, I tried to ignore that connection to everybody. And it made me so sick, so sick in so many ways, and miserable and unhappy in this totally different version of myself that I was never meant to be. And then once I started to unravel that part of me, I started to feel so much better, right? And because I am connected to everyone, and that connection that I have is very alive. I can feel it, and that feeling of the connection is, what used to make me so sick.
Yes.
And not being able to acknowledge it, not being able to, live it. That caused so much sickness and so much disease and
which is dis-ease. If people haven't figured that out, it's dis-ease, lack of ease, lack of peace.
Yeah.
In Maslow, if you've ever looked at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you're getting into, and even Jungian theory says that we all need to have somebody. We were put as a collective. We have to be social. Humans need that social ability, family and friends. We have to have that togetherness. There are people that choose or don't choose that are alienated from that. But if you look at the survival rate of those people, it's a lot less than those who have a collective. It takes a village. It really does truly take a village.
Yeah. I want to say one more thing. I have been working with you for a very long time, I think. Well, I say a very long time. In Bethany years, it feels like a long time, but in our timeline, but it's been a number of years now. And we've been doing the QHHT for a little over a year now. And then when you started on your journey, you started doing sessions with me. And the progress that I personally have made through those sessions has been tremendous. And you as a practitioner are just a tremendous practitioner. You have made such a huge difference in my life. And I know, if you were to start to go through and put some metrics of your own together, you're going to see the same type of numbers, because the work is the work, but as practitioners, we have to show up to do the work in a certain way. We have to be able to establish a very good bond and a very good trust with our clients. And you do that very well.
Thank you so much. That heart is full. I thank you. Thank you. That means the world to me. And I feel the same way about you. Like, Bethany's done every one of my sessions. I wouldn't go to anybody else, because number one, we'd have to go through the whole damn history again. But no, I think once you establish that bond with somebody, it's really, really important to have that level of trust, because there is vulnerability about it. And not being afraid of what the fuck's going to come out of your mouth next.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, you've said some things, and you know, you can't wear your heart on your sleeve and be a practitioner in this, because the subconscious is going to serve the practitioner as well as the client every single time. You know, like, no. No. Okay, then.
I said something really funny one time about being a Reiki master. That was for both of us, about something about how you can't be much of a Reiki master if you're judgmental or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was just being a real smart aleck that day.
Oh my gosh. Well, and one day I was sitting here, and I'm actually, my podcast room is also my QHHT room. And it was really funny because I had somebody on the bed and we're doing the QHHT session, and they had asked some very particular questions about the work that they do. And they were indeed practicing craft and doing some things. And the person literally rolls over and their eyes open. They look at me and they go, and you need to hear this as well. You cannot be doing this anymore because it's not helping society. And I'm like, okay, thank you so much for that information. I really respect and appreciate you. But this isn't my session. So can we go back to this person? Not until you've heard this. Oh my.
Okay.
Okay. So now I just, like, every session I go into, do you have anything you want to share with the collective?
Yeah.
It's going to come out anyway, right? Tell the person, like, on your recording that you're going to have, because we send them home with a recording. Some people don't want it, but we attempt to send you home with a recording of you so that you can listen. There's going to be something that smacks me in the face every damn time. It's like, you shouldn't be doing this, or are you listening? I've had that like 3 times. Julie, are you listening? I actually am. I'm sitting here and I'm listening. Like,
I thought I was.
I was trying to pay attention. You're kind of getting wordy here, but yep. And then we have walk-ins. It's not even talking about the spiritual walk-ins we have from family members or guides, whatever you want to call them. Well,
and then, very real blocks on people, and, energetic things that just show up for people, and I feel like sometimes, and Dolores Cannon she communicates that energy work and hypnosis work don't really go hand in hand, right? Like, Reiki and the QHHT, they don't really go hand in hand. Also, you can't really delineate them sometimes. The energy work side of it shows up because it is an energetic experience. And, I will share that in one of my sessions, I had this massive block that was on my crown chakra, and the subconscious told Julie she needed to do some energy work to help to alleviate that and resolve it. And she did that work during the session. I have done work with people during our sessions. We don't do anything without permission, without absolute permission. And that's another point, to your control over the session. You are verbalizing in that moment. Does the higher self want this to happen, and is this something that we should be doing? And if it is, then we do the work, because it's the best thing for you, and it helps to clear whatever the blockage is, and it's a huge release. And you can oftentimes feel it. It's very palpable in the room.
Oh gosh. Well, like both of our last sessions that we
Yeah.
had, the energy was crackling and our ears were ringing. And I talk about this a lot in my pods, like I have a lot of spirits, like a lot of entities that I work with, and they'll step up and like it's to the point now where we're going deep enough with my sessions, and I can only speak for myself because I'm not going to violate confidentiality, but how many times have you had to ask things to step down? Like, because I get laying there, and it's like everybody comes around like, what are they going to do? What is she going to do? Like, nope, we're going to stay here. We got you. There'll be hands on me. Like things will put their hands on me, making sure that I am safe and grounded. And both of us have to go, okay, I need you all to back up now. This is all cool. She's here because she wants to be here. Like, take a step back. Come on, clear the room.
Yeah.
And reluctantly, most of them will step back except for two.
Yeah.
One in particular that never will step back.
No, I know. I like to do this process with people's guides where, because a lot of times people want to meet their guides or get to know their guides. And I like to give them that opportunity if their subconscious is willing to do that. And I like to walk them through it in a way that their guides just kind of line up with them and present kind of one at a time. And oftentimes when we do that, you can feel it happen in the room. You can feel the energy of the presence of people's spirit guides and ancestor team showing up for them to meet with them and communicate with them. It's so visceral in the room. It's like, it's not heavy. It's just buzzing.
It's electrical for me. Like when I do that, I get really cold. My body temperature as a practitioner, my body temperature drops. My hands and feet go ice cold. Like there's physical symptoms that very much the same as if I'm in deep meditation and yoga. My body temperature will completely drop. Like I can tell when I'm where I need to be because there's no more circulation to my hands and feet. Like it's just my core is what's lit, and I don't need these other things in that moment. It's my core that's running, and I have that contact. It's beautiful. Yeah. And I connect people in my sessions. I try the people that don't think about that. I connect them with like cues, visual cues or sound cues or things to look for when their main guides come around, because some people are like, well, I've got these things and I've got these things, and I don't know whether this has anything to do with it. So I try to connect them because I have certain songs that come on, and me with my guides, I've chosen I shouldn't say shit songs, but shit songs that I don't listen to. Things that I've always cliche songs that I've always turned off on the radio, so that because I'm enough stubborn, like when I'm being told something, like you can hit me once and I'm like, ha, that's funny. And then they hit you twice and you go, oh, that might have been a little more than a coincidence. That was twice. And when they hit you 3 times, you go, shit, I should have listened. That was the first time around. So I've got songs that don't come on the radio very often, or when they do, it's not a station I listen to. So when things come on and it's on the first time, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, that's okay. I'm paying attention.
That's the message.
And I always make sure I finish the song. Like that's the rule with my guide. I have to finish the song, which really sometimes is hard. One day I had 3 different places the song came on. And I listened all 3 times. And I made the comment to Chris, my husband, you heard that. And he's like, yep, you paying attention? Yep, I am. Good. And then it came on in a different form. And I'm like, are you serious? I was listening the first time, and then I'm heading out the door with another drink in my hand. I'm just saying we're setting up for a show. I was kind of ripped. I think I'd done some other stuff too. I'm not gonna lie. And we're heading out the door to the hotel, and we're gonna go eat before we come back. And it came on a 3rd time, and I'm like, okay, what the hell did I do? Why?
What am I supposed to be knowing?
What did I not do that I should be doing? Because I know you're not doing this because I did something really well. Like there's that guilt, like, okay, a little too much maybe going into the show. What's going on? Yeah, like it was a whole day. Yeah. So when I connect people with those things, it just makes you realize a little bit more that focus.
And that they're there. They're able to tie things together.
And
like
they do.
that
If you
communication. Yeah.
If you let them, they do.
Yeah.
This one's really good about it. You gotta listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add before we close? This has been great. I so appreciate.
I know. I love meeting you here all the time whenever we do these things.
I think it's interesting, and I get really good feedback. This will be running, guys. 9:00 tonight is when my podcast is changing to. So switch your dials. It's no longer Sunday. It's 7 or 7:30. It's just a bad time for people getting ready for work on Monday mornings. So 9:00 on Saturdays is going to be my time. It'll be permanently. I'm going to say permanently for now, because things change, and permanently for now in this world, in this dimension, right here, right now, it's going to be 9:00 on Saturdays. And I will be watching the feed tonight so that when it is playing, even though this is a recording, so you don't have to send me messages that you're DMing or you're making comments and nobody's responding. I will be monitoring the feed just so that I can have some awareness of what's going on. You're free to DM Bethany. Again, The Guided Key on Facebook. I'm Julie Couch. I'm the one with the dreads. There's like 100 Julie Couches, but I'm JuliCouch. That's how I monitor, but I will be on YouTube monitoring tonight because it stacks all of the variables for me. I'll have 2 different computer systems running, and hopefully I will catch you tonight at 9:00, and you're going to watch this. Thank you, Bethany Noble.
Yes.
Owner of the Guided Key.
Thank you for having me. I'm always honored to be here. I really do appreciate it, and I love you so much.
I love you too. This has been great. And guys, this has been the full moon weekend, right?
No, it's waxing gibbous, I think.
That's right. We just talked about that. I was like, somebody said we were going into one. You know what? Never mind, because that's a gig in August. I have slept since then. It's been a crazy day. Just ignore me that should be knowing what's going on moon-wise, and I don't, because people have to tell me what's going on.
I think maybe next week is the full moon.
That may be it.
Yeah, next week.
That would make more sense because it's always closer to the end of the month, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
But release, believe in yourself, quit asking for permission.
Yes.
And as always, join us on the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar is always open and the spirits are always served. Thank you guys so much for being on with us tonight. Thank you, Bethany. Thank you, all of our followers and viewers. We appreciate your support. Hit the like and share. Be sure to let us know that you're listening, and we will see you again next Saturday night at 9 p.m. Thank you, guys. Peace out. Maybe not.